Have you ever stopped and asked a very strange question? Not how the universe works, not what it's made of, but why anything exists at all. Why is there something instead of nothing? Before science, before religion, before philosophy, this question remains, and it doesn't go away. Let's imagine nothing for a moment. No space, no time, no energy, no laws of physics, just nothing. Here's the problem. Nothingness doesn't produce things. Nothing has no power, no potential, no ability to cause anything. So if at some point there was truly nothing, then nothing should still be here. Yet, here we are. So something must have always existed, or something must exist that does not depend on anything else. Now let's talk about the universe itself. Modern cosmology tells us something crucial. The universe is not eternal in its current form. It had a beginning. Not just a change, but an origin. Space began. Time began. Matter began. And anything that begins needs an explanation outside itself. A book cannot write itself. A painting does not appear without a painter, and the universe cannot bring itself into existence because before it existed, it had no power to do so. This idea isn't new. Aristotle called it the unmoved mover, that which causes motion without being caused. Ibn Sina called it the necessary being, a reality that must exist by its very nature, while everything else depends. Even today, many scientists admit the universe points back to something beyond space and time. At this stage, we are not talking about religion, not rules, not scripture, not a personal God. Only this idea. There must be a source of existence itself, uncaused, eternal, independent. The Quran captures this question in one short verse.
Were they created by nothing, or were they themselves the creators? Created by nothing? Impossible. Created themselves.
Also impossible. So only one option remains, a source beyond them. This first step doesn't tell us who God is. It only tells us that existence is not random. There is something underneath reality itself. And once you accept that, the real questions begin. Now let's move one step forward, not just why something exists, but why the universe makes sense at all. Look around you. The universe is not random noise. It follows rules. The same laws of physics work everywhere, on Earth, in distant galaxies, at the edge of the observable universe. Gravity behaves the same today as it did billions of years ago. Light follows precise mathematical patterns. Atoms obey exact laws. This isn't chaos, it's order. And not just any order, order that can be understood. Here's the strange part. The universe is written in mathematics. Simple symbols predict stars, particles, and forces we cannot even see. Albert Einstein called this the unreasonable effectiveness of mathematics. Why should abstract human math work so perfectly on reality? Randomness doesn't produce stability like this. Chaos doesn't create systems that allow life, chemistry, and consciousness to exist for billions of years. If the laws were slightly different, no stars, no atoms, no life. This is why many speak of fine-tuning, not fragile, but deliberate. Long before modern science, the Stoics spoke of the logos, a rational principle ordering the cosmos. Different language, same intuition. Reality is not blind. Order usually points to intelligence. When we see a code, we infer a mind. When we see a system, we infer intent. Not necessarily human, but purposeful rather than accidental. The Quran captures this question in one short verse.
You will not find any flaw in the creation of the most merciful.
It invites inspection, search for cracks, for contradictions, for chaos. And when you don't find them, a conclusion forms. The universe is not just existing, it is structured, and structured in a way that allows understanding, which raises a deeper question. If order points to intelligence, is the source of the universe intelligent rather than blind? So far, we've asked why the universe exists and why it is ordered. Now we turn inward. You, not your body, but your experience. Right now, you are aware. You are hearing these words, thinking about them. But here is the mystery. Why is there someone experiencing reality at all? Science can describe the brain in detail. Neurons, chemicals, electrical signals. But matter explains structure, not experience. A brain scan shows activity. It doesn't show what it feels like to be you. This is the hard problem of consciousness. How does objective matter produce subjective awareness? If thoughts were only chemistry, meaning would be an illusion. But it isn't. You don't experience yourself as a reaction. You experience yourself as awareness itself. Descartes captured it simply. I think, therefore, I am. Before you know the world exists, you know you exist, because you are aware. Atoms have no point of view. Chemistry has no inner life. Yet here you are, knowing, choosing, questioning. This suggests awareness isn't just a byproduct. It may be fundamental. In Islamic thought, this is expressed through the concept of ruh, not fully explained but not reduced to matter.
They ask you about the soul, say, the soul is from the command of my Lord.
Notice what this does. It neither denies consciousness nor claims full understanding. It points beyond the physical. So the picture sharpens. The source of existence is not just powerful, not just ordered. It may also be aware. An awareness in us points to something deeper than matter alone. Now we come to something deeply human, morality. Across cultures and time, some actions trigger the same reaction. Murder, betrayal, abuse of the innocent. These don't just feel unpleasant, they feel wrong. Not, I don't like this, but this should not be. Why? If morality were only survival, sacrifice wouldn't make sense. Why die for a stranger? Why feel guilt when no one is watching? Survival explains instinct, not obligation. It explains what is, not what ought to be. If morality were just opinion, justice would collapse. Genocide would only be wrong if unpopular. Slavery would be moral if accepted. But we know that's false. Some things would be wrong even if the whole world approved them. Kant called this the moral law within. Not I prefer, but I must. Where does this law come from? Laws imply a lawgiver. In Islamic thought, this inner compass is called fitra, a natural disposition toward truth and goodness.
And he inspired the soul with its wickedness and its righteousness.
Morality isn't invented, it's recognized, which means the source of existence doesn't just generate power or intelligence, it seems to care about good and evil, which points to purpose. Yet something is still off. Despite progress, humans repeat the same failures, different eras, same collapses. Knowledge grows, wisdom lags. Why do we fail even when we know better? Information doesn't fix the self. Plato saw the divided soul. Freud described inner conflict. Different language, same observation. Human nature is not neutral. Islam calls this force the nafs, the self pulled toward ego and excess.
Indeed, the soul commands toward wrongdoing.
This isn't pessimism, it's realism. Humans don't just need knowledge, they need alignment. This is where guidance enters. Not control, not domination, calibration. Like aligning a compass to true north. If the source of existence is intelligent, aware, and moral, guidance wouldn't be oppression, it would be mercy. Which leads to revelation, not as restriction, but as direction. We accept guidance everywhere else. A teacher doesn't imprison a student. A doctor doesn't dominate a patient. Rules protect what humans consistently damage. Revelation works with reason, not against it. The Quran describes messengers simply.
Bring us good news and warnings.
Not tyrants, messengers, living examples. So freedom isn't rebellion. True freedom is alignment. A fish is free in water, not on land. Aristotle knew this. The Stoics knew this. Islam expresses it in one word: surrender, not to force, but to truth. Ignoring reality doesn't remove limits, it creates tension.
And whoever turns away from my remembrance will have a constricted life.
Not punished, constricted, fragmented. Guidance isn't control, it's liberation. Then comes suffering. Why pain? Because without choice, morality dies. Without resistance, growth collapses. A world without struggle would be a world without depth. Life becomes a test, not cruel, purposeful.
He created death and life to test you as to which of you is best indeed.
Not success, not comfort, character. Suffering doesn't erase meaning, it makes justice possible. We've traveled far. Existence, order, consciousness, morality, struggle, guidance. Together, they form a pattern. At some point, the question becomes personal. Not believing is also a choice. Neutrality is a response. The Quran asks quietly,
So where are you going?
not where you came from, not what you inherited. Where are you choosing to go? Because meaning isn't imposed, it's recognized. And once seen, it's difficult to unsee. This is The Conditioned Mind. Subscribe, like, share, on brand. If this made you pause, question, or feel slightly uncomfortable, that's the work. Subscribe to The Conditioned Mind. Share this with someone who still thinks freely.